Let's see here. I I can't quite find the words. I can't quite find the word. But what I will say is, man, the Candace Owens got to stop. The Candace Owens got to stop. That got to stop. And I ain't even. I'm not. I'm no longer gonna say the coon. No longer gonna say the Sambo. I'm gonna say the Candace Owens got to stop. Uh, I mean, listen, man, because listen, she's clearly been sent here as a plant, by the far right nationalists, the fascist Nazi, whatever the little dicksters, as I call them. Nah, man. And a comment said she brainwashed. She's not brainwashed. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's doing it for her own personal profit, her own personal gain. This is the epitome of the shit that everybody else is going through. Now, listen, bro. This is the same girl who had a racial incident happen to her when she was in high school or freshman in college or shit like that, received some funds because people were discriminating against her. And now all of a sudden she can't see discrimination. She's never experienced racism. Before you became who you are today, you made a name for yourself, reaching out to people who look like you so they could empathize and support you and help you through your situation. And there is no other solution. There is no other idea in my mind that, you understand exactly what you're doing and you working for the enemy, period. You've been bought, for real. You working for the enemy, man. But the enemy discards its tools after they're finished using them, period. So, but look though, and I'm torn because she a sister. You dig what I'm saying? And I don't even think she understand the real ramifications of what it is that come with what she doing. And it's hard to turn eye back completely on a sister that looks like my sister. You dig what I'm saying? That looks like my daughter. That look like it's hard to visually recognize something that shows you it's something else. It's like, it pulls at the heartstrings, but what must be done, man. That's cancerous. That's cancerous. Like, anyone who's willing to go above and beyond over the extremes to speak ill of a man, something is inherently wrong with you. You dig what I'm saying? She's no better moral standing than the people who called the police on black people who happen to be white. The white people who call police on black people people knowing that those police gonna pull up and that those black people have an increased opportunity to be killed. She's just the same, bro. She's steady perpetuating the same rhetoric, the same propaganda that yields the same outcome. And I just, it's hard for me because I ain't gonna be able to go and experience a day like I experienced today, and then just see like that go on and not feel no way about it. You understand me? I don't want to be disrespectful to her because I think that's more of a reflection of me than it is of her and her shortcomings. But on some real shit, bruh, us as a people, man, we cannot afford to continue to allow like this kind of rhetoric, this poison to be put out there, man, in our people, because she a white lady, like she like not even like a, and some white ladies are cool, you know what I'm saying? Some white ladies show up with a joint and a funny story, and you know what I'm saying, they got great energy, and they're fair and they're decent and they're for everyone. You know what I mean? Those are great people. She ain't one of them. This is a white lady who on some, I'm calling the police on you because you stole my parking space kind of white lady. Like this is different. She means harm and destruction to our people. She's being used by people who mean harm and destruction to our people. So therefore, she a op. She a op. Now, mind you, man, everyone, and I'm talking about Candace Owens. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to, and again, don't want to be disrespectful. I do not want to, I don't want to, I don't want to produce the kind of energy that I feel like I'm receiving. You know what I mean? I don't want to be a part of that cycle. But the shit has to stop, bro. We have to collectively, because it's been too many, even me and my partner, like, you know what I mean? Like, she got that. I mean, he, because she's a sister, he always say, bruh, she's smart. You gotta listen. I don't want to hear this shit, bruh. Speaking, that kind of ideology, that kind of rhetoric only kills more black people. It only feeds the beast that fans the flame of white supremacy. Period. So, that was the bullshit of the day that I saw. Everything else was like, what I'm saying, predominantly positive. But that shit, man, that was crazy. You know what I mean? And listen, I'm only using my platform to speak out to the people who I have access to their eyes, ears, and attention to share my perspective on it. So won't nobody ever stand in the gray area of, well, what is it that we're doing? What is it that we're saying? How do we feel about this? This how we feel about that. I ain't paying in nobody's name, bro. If you ain't in the know, it's need to know basis. If you ain't in the need to know, then. Now, about this Drew Brees. Now, it's very easy for me because I'm from Atlanta, and it's not hard to kind of find myself on the opposite end of the Saints. But this is beyond like sports. This is like, man, this is like lifestyle. This is real. But we have to acknowledge the fact that there's some kids that grew up with their fathers, uncles, aunts, mothers, cousins. You know what I'm saying? And they're raised second, third generation race. And they're raising someone in a new generation. And the way they raise them, it perpetuates white supremacy, whether they know it or not. You know what I mean? Racism isn't, you don't inherit that. You have to be taught to be racist. You have to be taught to discriminate. You have to be taught to oppress. And sometimes you being taught that shit even when you don't know it. So I can't call him a racist. I'm not saying that, but I do feel like he's had his teachings. You know what I mean? How sincere he is about his apology. I don't know him well enough to be able to speak to that. However, his position that he took, the position of, yeah, I don't have a problem with him kneeling because I think it disrespects the flag, when there are hundreds of other examples of how this flag has been disrespected based on the Constitution and what we know the Constitution to mean. Do you know that you're not supposed to have a flag on anything, not a napkin, not a t-shirt, not a bikini? You're not supposed to have a flag on nothing else, not a calendar. So if that's not disrespecting the flag, and if the mass incarceration / slavery of other people that don't look like you are not a representation of disrespect of the flag, how is it that kneeling as in a peaceful silent protest to speak out against police brutality and the silent genocide of a generation? How in the hell is that disrespecting the flag? When the country was built on protest. So, but I mean, I do feel like, you know what I'm saying, there are cases, I don't know if this is his particular case, but there are some cases where people just kind of like, you know what I'm saying, get all the way out there and say some shit that kind of like misrepresents them, and then they can, I don't know if that's the case for him. I don't know enough about him. I don't know him personally. I haven't cared enough to research. You dig what I'm saying? But I do know that there is racism in the fundamental development of how he speaks, of his perception, of his perspective. I do know that. So how he deals with it, though, is going to determine where his future goes. You know what I mean? And for us, to my people, I want you guys to know, right now is a time where you have everybody's attention. Well, we have everybody's attention. What we do at this moment is going to define the rest of our lives, and the lives for our children, and the lives for just the future. So we have to be mindful of that. You understand? We have to move with purpose. We have to be purposeful in all of our actions and activities. You know what I mean? And I see people saying Drew needs to go ahead and retire. Look, man, what his professional decisions are, man, it don't benefit me to have somebody lose money or have somebody to lose their job or like, I ain't really into that. I just want perspective and clarity. I just want to understand, okay? Once I understand, now I can speak to the people who I represent and explain it to them. And after that, if they ain't with you, then we ain't with you. It's that on that. And however you deal with that, that's on you. And hopefully you can go off and live a prosperous life, and we can too. But if the shit don't mix, we just gonna got to separate and do our thing separately. And I think ain't nothing wrong with that. We can't force nobody to feel how we feel. We can't force nobody to take the position that we take. We can't. But we can cut. So our power is our consumer base. That's the power we have. Our consumer base. We are good for $1.3 trillion as consumers. We own the least. We have the least amount of ownership, the least amount of consideration, the least amount of respect. But we make for, like, we run it. We control the culture. We control the culture. But I think everybody should feel encouraged, remain encouraged. Because I feel like this is the one of the greatest, most significant times, you know. And in the Bible, it said 400 years it said people would be in bondage in a country that you would be strangers in for 400 years. And this is 401. 1619. That's when slavery started. 1619. So here we are in 2020 and all this going on. I happen to be like, I feel like this is ordained, you know what I mean? I think it's the fulfillment of a prophecy. And everybody's saying, yo, we're at war and we're unprepared. We don't have the ammunition. We don't have the preparation. We don't have the strategy. We don't have the leadership. We don't have the, hey, bruh, God only gonna fight with one of us. God will only fight with one side of this. And if it's and if he fight with us, and guess what? That's all the we need. Just show up with faith. You know what I mean? Just pull up and have faith. It ain't gonna be how you want it to be all the time. It ain't gonna present itself to you in a way that you can perceive it or the way that you imagined it, the way that you understand it. But you have to have enough faith to trust that whatever's being presented to you, if you get a feeling in your heart, in your gut, and you feel like this is it, then you got to roll with that, bro. You got to roll with that. And if you could do that, God will do the rest. You know what I mean? If you could do that, the universe will do the rest. Whatever you believe in, bro. If you can show up, have faith, knowing that you're fighting for the right, knowing that you on the side of righteousness, you dig what I'm saying? Man, God gonna do the rest. And remember, fear and faith can't exist in the same place. If you're really faithful and you really have faith in a high power, there's no room for fear. Because that means you believing in whatever it is that opposes you more than you believe in his power to empower you. You know what I mean? Fear and faith can't exist in the same place. So you got to pull up, man. You got to pull up armed only with your faith. This is, you know what? I was speaking to my partner. He said his grandmama told him this was the spirit of David, as in David and Goliath. You know what I mean? David had to show up facing a giant with nothing but a fucking stone. Bruh, it had to happen. One stone. But he showed up, though. He ain't hide and run, say, no, I can't do it. He's too big. All I have is a stone. I can't go. No, showed up. And God did the rest.